What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Monday night live stream. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing tonight? Put a 1 in the chat if you hear me clearly. We got a new upgrade on the microphone now. You know what I'm saying? Tightening up the quality of the messaging. Tonight, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be important. All right. If meal prep is too complicated, if it's you don't know what to do as far as recipes and things like that, this is going to be an important stream because meal prep can actually be a lot easier than you may think. So that's what I'm going to spend some time talking about tonight. And then what I'm going to do too is let me get in here and I'm going to jump into the voice chat. I'm going to jump into the voice chat tonight as well on Discord. So folks in the Discord, y'all hear that blender going? That blender sounds loud, right? She said, I'm gonna wait until he goes on stream tonight. And we're gonna run this blender. I'll be quiet all day, but when he get on stream, we gonna handle business with this blender. Oh man, all right. Did y'all hear that? How did that sound? Like a good crispy did y'all hear that crispy sound coming through on the blender? Right, you'll just hear every bit of friction coming through, right? Yeah, all right. Nah, I kid. We keep it real. So yeah, they're going to be talking about that tonight. So let's see, who do we got on in here? Big shout out to you, Don Ann. Where y'all tuning in from? Kelly White, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Jay Frost, welcome. Mookie Joe, all right, what's going on? Sincere, that's right, best way to be, right? Where y'all tuning in from tonight? Cincinnati, Ohio. Big shout out to the Natty. Be more. Chicago, what's going on? Welcome, good to see you in here. Arizona. Raleigh, yeah. We got the folks coming through tonight. Look at that, we're doing pretty well tonight. Folks who didn't hit the like button on the stream, hit the like button on the stream. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't done that, let's get this, because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna come to deliver tonight on the stream. We're gonna get it tonight. And I want to bring some folks on to ask questions and whatnot too. So I want to open up the floor to some Q&A tonight, right? Because I know y'all gonna have some questions for me, so I want to answer some of those. I want to talk to y'all. So I can do it through the Discord chat, or I can start a Google Meet room, right? And drop the link in the chat here and get y'all in on the Google Meet, right? So we take some questions here on the Google Meet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Let me know what y'all want to do. Alright, can we get into it tonight? Can we talk about it? I got my ginger tea here tonight. So with meal prep, right? We're getting into it. We are rolling into November. Look at that. We are halfway through October already. So obviously, you know, we got things like watermelon and the tropical fruits going out of season. So we're down to bananas, grapes, some kiwis, strawberries, right? Different types of berries, things like that. But you know what? We got new staples. New staples to the diet plan. We got sweet potato, we got butternut squash, right? We got chickpeas, we got lentils, all that kind of stuff. Now, one thing I'm really a really big fan of is sauces and seasonings. All right. Let's start with something I've become a very big fan of, and that is lentil or chickpea sauce. I'm a big fan of this. So what you do is you can take cooked chickpeas or lentils, you put it in a blender, you add water, and you can add a little tomato sauce, for example. And then you can add your seasonings. You can add onion, garlic, basil, little sea salt, right? You can make an Italian style chickpea sauce or red lentil sauce, right? You season it kind of the same way that you would season like pasta sauce, right? And you run that through the blender. And you can do this, you can put like, let's say 2 cups or 2.5 cups, however much chickpea or lentils you want to put in there. And you blend it up till it's a nice creamy texture, right? And if you want to add a little bit of a cheesy flavor, you can add nutritional yeast to it. Nutritional yeast is a good source of B12, B vitamins, including a little bit of protein, right? Things like that. It's got a nice nutrient profile. So it tastes good. And it's fortified with all types of really good stuff. And so in doing this, you get a flavorful, fiber-rich, carb-rich, protein sauce. All right? The sauce in and of itself can be anywhere from 12 to 20 grams of protein right out the gate. All right. So let's say you want to eat 4 to 6 cups of greens. Let's say in your high raw vegan diet plan, you want to have a nice big salad. You want to eat, let's say 2 cups of spinach, 2 cups of arugula, right? And maybe you want to have some sprouted greens or something like that. Whatever the case is, whatever kind of greens you want to use. And then you put diced cucumber, bell peppers. You can add hemp seeds, right? All kinds of stuff in there. You can put diced onion and bell pepper in there. In the salad. You mix up the salad. You can add cashews into it. You can add sweet potato chunks to the salad and this big old green luscious salad. And then just pour your lentil or your chickpea sauce over it and just mix that in. And effectively what you've just done is you've added B12 to this meal. You've added protein, fiber, additional carbohydrates, potassium, vitamin C, magnesium, manganese, iron, copper. You've just added a ton of nutrition to this salad with just that sauce, right? Now this kind of sauce, you can have it cold if you want, or you can heat it up, however you want to do it. Tastes good both ways. All right. You can batch cook different flavors. Let's say you have one day where you make your chickpea sauce with tomato sauce. Let's say you don't want to use tomato sauce. Let's say you want to do coconut curry. So you take some coconut water, or coconut milk, I should say. Coconut milk. And you add turmeric, curry, sea salt, black pepper or white pepper. You can even add a little masala seasoning, a little chili powder, right? And you can add a little cayenne pepper to add a little kick to it. Blend it up, same thing. Boom, you got your sauce. So you got your tomato sauce, your coconut curry sauce, and then for a third one, you can do a cheesy miso sauce. So with that one, you can just add water, miso paste, nutritional yeast, curry powder, turmeric, sea salt. Did I say sea salt already? Cayenne pepper, cumin, right? I said nutritional yeast already, right? It's a ton of stuff you can add in there. Season it up real good. And then you can add red lentils as the base, or the chickpeas as a base as well. And then just blend that up, same thing, so you get a nice creamy flavor. And essentially, once you do that, you've got 3 days of your legumes covered. One thing you should know though, lentils are a bit more protein dense. So if you're trying to get more protein out of your, into your diet, you may want to use lentils, specifically red lentils. Red lentils have a less bitter taste. So like green and brown lentils are a bit more bitter, whereas the red lentils, especially hulled red lentils, and hulled red lentils they're much smaller. They're like these split red lentils, right? And those cook really quickly. So they're nice and soft. They get nice and soft really quickly. Still high in protein, very digestible. So you can use that as a base instead. If you want to make it more raw, what you can do is you can get a food processor. And you can grind up the lentils in the food processor until it becomes a powder. So then you put the powdered lentils in the blender with your, whether it be water or tomato sauce, coconut curry, whatever you want to do, where you add all your seasonings and your preferred liquid in there. And you blend it up, you let it soak. And then after it's done soaking for a couple hours or so, you blend it up again, and then you leave it in the fridge. Right? And that's another option. So now from there, you can even do buffalo sauce, right? You can do let's say you didn't want to do the Italian style tomato sauce one. Let's say you don't want to do the coconut curry one or the cheesy miso one. Let's say you want to do like a taco seasoning one, right? You want to do like a cheesy taco seasoning one. So you can do taco seasoning, nutritional yeast, right? And you can add a little miso paste to that one too to get that little vinegary kind of taste, right? To add a little kick to it. It's very subtle, but if you notice in whether it be barbecue sauce or buffalo sauce or, Thai peanut sauce or sweet and sour sauce, they use a little bit of vinegar to add a little kick to the sauce. It actually makes sauces smell really good. And so miso paste is a good way to add that kind of flavor. You don't have to add a whole lot, right? But what you could do is in the blender, you can season to taste. So you add a little bit, you blend it up, you stick your finger in there and you taste it. You can add a little bit, right? And you just do a little bit at a time till you calibrate the flavoring to how you want it, right? The Italian style one, you can add a little bit more garlic, right? If you want to make it a little zestier, you can add a little bit more basil. If you want it to be a little bit more medicinal, a little bit more herbal, you can add oregano, you can add more parsley, right? That kind of thing. So you can do that. So that's like 4 different ones that you can make. And they go great over salads. Let's say you're trying to add a substantial amount of protein to your diet. What you can do is you can do tofu chunks. Let's say you get super firm tofu. If you don't want to eat tofu, you don't have to. I'm a big fan of tofu. I like to eat it. It's a great source of calcium, magnesium, manganese, iron, copper. It's good for, and believe it or not, it's actually good for gut health too, right? Because it's got certain probiotics, especially what is it? Tempeh is the fermented tofu, right? And that one has probiotics in it as well, and it's also going to be higher in protein as well, right? So if you want to add more protein to your diet, that's a great way to do that as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think 8 ounces of super firm tofu is about, I want to say, 18 grams of protein, somewhere around there. It's either like 18 or 19. If you add the sauce, if your sauce is about... Oh, my camera done woke up. I was like, what's going on with this thing here? Yeah, so... if you have, let's say, the sauce that's about 16 or 20 grams of protein, and then you do your I'm getting confused by this camera zooming in on me. It's a little too close. I'm like, all right, you gotta back up here. Let me get some adjustment going on here. Hold on. Look at it. You see it's wigging out? The AI is struggling. So let me hold on here. Let's turn the gesturing off. All right. It's time for me to pilot this thing for a bit. Boom. Okay. All right. You're doing too much. You gotta calm down. I waved at the camera. If you have the hand gestures on, it'll just it'll do that. Okay, are we good? Did we do it? All right. So yeah. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So basically, yeah. So if you add about 16 or 20 grams from the sauce on top of the tofu, which is also about 18 grams or so, I mean, you can get anywhere from around, what, 36 or 40 grams of protein in there, or at least 30 grams of protein in one meal. All right. Actually, no, that's lowballing it. I want to say you can get close to 60 grams of protein. Excuse me. Even if you get 20 and 20 and you mix them together, that's another 40. And then, of course, if you add leafy greens, things like that. So 16 and 16 is 32, right? If it's 20 and 20, that's 40. Depends on how much you use. Look at that. I'm not a math surgeon, but you get the point. So you can add more protein that way. You add nutritional yeast, you get about 3 grams of protein from the nutritional yeast. If you add hemp seeds, 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds is like 10 grams of protein, that kind of thing, right? And then, of course, your leafy greens. If you add 4 cups of leafy greens, that's another 4 or 5 grams of protein there. And they should be raw, tender greens that you add in, right? So the sauce is already cooked. That's the cooked portion. All right, so you don't need to cook the greens, the tender leafy greens. So don't cook the spinach or anything like that. If you want to use kale, you don't have to really cook the kale. Just really all you need to do is you can massage it. Literally take your hands and just massage the kale. So you can pull the kale leaves from the stem and then just massage them a little bit just to break up the cell wall of the kale, and that makes it softer and easier to eat. So that's a little bit of a diet hack there with the kale. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So in that one meal, you add like 4 or 6 cups of greens, however you want to work out your diet plan there. And that's it. You got your 4 sauces. Now, if you're eating a raw vegan diet, pretty much for the rest of the day, you can just eat fruits, nuts, and seeds. And then towards the end of your day, you just have one of those sauces that you prepped. So you can just have some mason jars. And within the mason jars, you can just put that in there. Right, and put the sauces in each of the mason jars. You can write Monday on one mason jar. You can add Wednesday on another mason jar. Right, you just name them and use them as need be. You don't have to use all of the sauce either. You may just want to use a little bit of the sauce at a time. It's up to you. But that's just one way to do it here. All right, so we take that off there. Okay. All right, so now another meal prep that I would have to talk about to make things a little bit easier is rolled oats, right? Overnight oats. Now the overnight oats typically that I talk about, and with the overnight oats, you can add in something like, you know, powdered peanuts like PB Fit or PB2, right? And that's like basically peanuts but in a powdered form. And that's like an extra source of protein. I think like 2 tablespoons on average is around like 8 grams of protein or so, right? If you don't want to add that, you can add pea protein isolate. The reason why I say the PB Fit or the PB2 is to add like a little bit of a nutty flavor. For me, I really like the peanut flavor or some type of nut flavor with rolled oats. I like those flavors combined, right? That's just a personal preference of mine. You can also use unflavored pea protein isolate, right? And so you get pea protein isolate, plant-based milk. You can add cinnamon. You can add a pinch of nutmeg if you want, some sea salt. You can add cacao powder if you want to add a little bit more of a chocolatey flavor. Cacao is fermented cocoa beans. So essentially what they do is they ferment the cocoa beans and then they dehydrate it, ground it up into a powder, and then boom, you got cacao powder, right? Cacao powder is very good for blood sugar control. So if you're a diabetic, it may be a good idea to add cacao, right? Also good for gut health, right? So if you're trying to get more probiotics, well, adding those fermented foods could be very beneficial. And then also cacao is a dark chocolate, and dark chocolate is rich in tryptophan, which is an amino acid that your body uses to create serotonin, which is really important for sleep quality because serotonin is a precursor to melatonin, right? So really good for sleep quality and overall mood. So cacao, it's bitter, but you know, you can add blueberries and bananas and whatnot to the meal and make it a little sweeter. And to compensate, you can add coconut sugar as well if you got a real hankering for a sweet tooth, right? So you can add like a teaspoon or so of the coconut sugar. You don't got to go crazy with it. The reason why I say coconut sugar is because it's very low on the glycemic index, right? If you don't want to use coconut sugar, you can use agave. Agave nectar, that works too. If you don't want to use agave nectar, you can use dates. Take a couple dates and you throw it in there with the plant-based milk and everything. You blend it up in the blender, pour it into a container, and then you just add your oats on top. You mix your oats in with what you mixed up in the blender. You just leave that in the fridge overnight. Boom, you got overnight oats. If you want to make, like, let's say a smoothie bowl, here's another one that I'm a big fan of, okay? You can put the oats, the rolled oats in with the plant-based milk and all the other ingredients, and you can blend everything together until you get like a smooth, creamy texture. So you can take the oats, blend it in with everything else, and then you get like an oat pudding, right? And then with the oat pudding, if you wanted to give like a certain flavor, maybe you throw a couple bananas in with the oat pudding. So you get a banana oat pudding, right? And then you can add in, let's say, cashew butter. Maybe you add in a tablespoon or so of cashew butter to give a little bit of a nutty flavor, or almond butter to give a little bit of a nutty flavor. And so then you get banana almond butter oat pudding, right? And you let that sit in the fridge overnight. Tastes amazing. All right? And then when you take it out and you get ready to eat it, you can put fresh fruits on top. Let's say you put blueberries, strawberries, and goji berries on top. Great combination. Really rich in antioxidants because of the berries. And the berries are low on the glycemic index, right? So as a diabetic, if you are diabetic, this can be very beneficial. Or insulin resistant at all, right? This can be very beneficial. Right? So these are just a couple options for an amazing breakfast to have. Simple. So you don't even really need a stove, right? You can have a crock pot to cook lentils, to cook beans, and a blender, and you'll be fine. That's really all you need, right? You don't even need a full-size refrigerator. You can have a mini fridge. So high raw, you don't need all kinds of pots and pans. You really don't. Maybe you need a hot plate if you want to warm up your sauce. Let's say you want to take the sauce and you want to put it in a pot, and then you want to add in maybe some other things, right? Maybe you want to add in some more cruciferous greens like broccoli. right? So you want to have broccoli, and you just want to steam the broccoli a little bit. So you put your broccoli in, and then you put your sauce in, right? And you mix it all up in there, and you slowly warm it up. And it should only take a couple minutes, because with broccoli, you still want to keep the crunch and the vibrance of it. You don't want to cook it necessarily. You just want to heat it up a little bit and loosen up the cell wall so that your gut can be able to absorb nutrients from it effectively. Right? So you just want to apply enough heat to the broccoli to loosen it up, right? So so your gut can really get at it and pull nutrients from it. Right? And you can do that as well. But for the most part, you essentially just need a blender and a crock pot, and you're pretty much good. Right? Crock pot, you can cook quinoa, and you can batch cook quinoa. You can batch cook kamut. Kamut is essentially in ancient Egyptian grain. Amazing nutrient profile. Full amino acid profile. Loaded with protein, right? I think it has if I'm not mistaken, it's got like a nutrient profile that surpasses steel cut oats, right? And even though it's a type of wheat, people with celiac disease don't really have a problem with it, which is very interesting, right? So doing some research and reading up on it, people with celiac disease will actually eat kamut and not really have a reaction to it. So it's very interesting. So when it comes to things like, let's say, fruits, prepping your raw meals, right? You can get a couple pounds of mango. Maybe you just get like a pound and a half of mango. Let's do that. A pound and a half of mango. You put that in your blender with a little bit of water and you blend that up. Now check this out. Let's say you're in the gym training pretty intensely. You're trying to build muscle. Here's a great idea. You can add 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in with the mango. And you can drink that post-workout or before your workout, however which one you want to do. Creatine helps to increase the amount of ATP your muscle can generate over time. Basically boosts mitochondrial function in lean muscle mass. So this leads to more effective usage of glucose, right? Because then you can use the glucose that's stored in your cells in the form of glycogen and convert that into ATP on a much quicker basis. And so the result of this is basically you can train harder and you can train longer. So it provides a performance boost, right? So creatine monohydrate, not only is it good for training performance in the gym, but also mental performance. There's actually studies that's coming out about creatine monohydrate that it can reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Right? So if you want to stay sharp into your old age, maybe you want to develop a creatine monohydrate habit. 5 to 10 grams a day is really all you need. Most people will be fine with 5. And so consistently on a daily basis, you have your juice with your creatine monohydrate, your 5 grams in there, and you're all set. And you can have that on a daily basis, and it'll help you to build muscle mass. It'll help you to boost your training performance, energy levels, insulin sensitivity, and weight loss. Right? And those things are side effects to that. Let's catch up with y'all in the comments. So y'all got any questions for me here? Let's see. I got chickpea noodles from Mom's Organic. Great alternative in my opinion. Interesting. Chickpea noodles. All right. You're gonna put the chickpea noodles in the blender? Let's see. Chickpea noodles. That's a new one. We'll have to look into that. What's this about chickpea noodles? Tofu. Let's see. I use tofu made out of fava beans. Oh, that works. Yeah, there you go. Do you ever use an air fryer? I don't have an air fryer. I think if I had one, though, I would use it and experiment with it in my meal plans. Yeah, for sure. Now I can have chickpea sauce for my chickpea noodles. Yeah, you can double up on the chickpeas. Yeah. And then, you know, the thing, too, is that will help with gas, too. Right? Because this is a great way to break down the, you know, phytic acid and lectins and things like that. It'll help to break that down, right? So it reduces, so like if you have gas, let's say, oh, when I eat beans, whatever, I get gas. This is a good solution to that. Love my Instapot. Yeah, that's right. Batch cooking. And the thing is that if you're only eating like one cooked meal a day or so, this is going to be extremely easy. This is why I'm a big fan of eating, you know, a raw dominant diet, because you don't have to be in the kitchen much. You run some things in the blender, add a little seasonings and sauces, and that's it. Big shout out to Don Ann, because Don Ann, she makes her own seasonings and sauces. She's here in the chat. Big shout out to you. And she sent me a few of her sauces. If she had like a seasoning line, like, you know, whether it be like she had an online store or something like that where she was selling her seasonings or whatever, not only would I buy them, I would add links to them in my shop and be like, yo, y'all need to go and order some of these seasonings. I used her taco seasoning and it was legit. Don Ann, too. I can really taste the chili powder in there that you added. Right? It's good. It is good. That taco seasoning is good. The next one that I'm gonna use is the veggie bouillon. Right? The vegetable bouillon. That smells so good. I can't wait to use that one. So I'm gonna use, yeah. So I'm gonna use, she sent it to me in one of these. Here, this is the taco seasoning that she sent me. Where's that vegetable bouillon one? Oh, this is the curry powder. This is the chili powder. She sent me a bunch of these. Yeah, the vegetable bouillon. And what else? Oh, by the way, what is this? No, not that one. It's this one. No. Yeah, the celery salts. So celery salt. She sent me celery salt. Don Ann, what do you think I should do with the celery salt? I don't think I've ever used celery salt before. One second. Let me tell you something. It's about to be... yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. This smells really good too, this complete seasoning that she got. And you can tell, I'm like, yeah, this right here is real. Oh, and the jerk sauce. Yeah, she sent me a jerk sauce packet. Alright, so this is what she sent me here. So she just whipped it up in the kitchen, put them in a box and sent them on their way. And so I have the privilege of having some beautiful seasonings here. So yeah, if you decide that you're gonna open up your own shop, your own online store, you're gonna be selling these. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna get me some. I'm gonna be doing ads for you. I'm gonna be running ads for your seasonings. All right. But yeah. She made Cuban sazon. All right, so this actually tastes pretty good. This smells pretty good too. Yeah. Cuban sazon. Right. Let's see. I add celery salt to my soup and broth. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. So I'm gonna do a soup. Should I add celery sauce to? Should I add celery salt to to split pea soup. What do y'all think about that? With split pea soup, I'm gonna season it with black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, of course sea salt, chili powder, pinch of cayenne pepper, and nutritional yeast. That's what I'm gonna season the split pea soup with. But now, I'm kind of thinking, if I make split pea soup, matter of fact, Don, what seasoning would you suggest I use for the split pea soup? Which one do you suggest? Yeah, I like these containers too. Would love to buy some. That's what I'm saying. Let me tell you something. That box, when I got it, when they delivered it to my door and I smelled the inside of this box, I was like, yes, this is root work right here. This is where it's at. That's right. Which yeah, Don, which one should I use for the split pea soup? I know I'm gonna use that chili powder. This right here, this chili powder. Let me smell this one more time. Hold on. Yeah, let me tell you something. Yeah, that smells good. Let me tell you. Who do I need to be friends with to get this hookup? I'm saying though. So D after 50. Definitely, I'll give her a follow. And slam her comments with the word seasonings. You gotta put seasonings in every comment in the comment sections of all her videos. I just gotta. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, yo, hashtag these seasonings, right? These seasonings. We about to get a campaign going. We about to get a campaign. It's gonna be these seasonings. Hashtag these seasonings. D after 50 seasonings. All 50. It's gotta be 50 seasonings. Yeah. You see this? Look at this. This is straight up organic, legit homemade, handcrafted seasonings. Okay? This is indigenous, from the ancestors, foundational Black American seasonings. All right, that's what this is. There's soul in that seasonings. Okay, there's love in them seasonings right there. That's legit. That's what it's about, folks. That's what it's about. That's what we live off of, folks. Every cell in our body goes, oh, for real? Yeah, this is what we doing, huh? Yeah. Matter of fact, let me open up. Should I jump? Do y'all got questions? Do y'all want to jump on the voice chat? Should I open up a Google Meet? You want to get this discussion going? Should we do that tonight? How's that sound? Let's hear from the people. Put a W in the chat if I should open up a Google Meet. Y'all want to jump on for a chat? Let folks jump in. See, need those seasonings. That's right. Let me jump into the voice chat. Hold on. All right. So let me get my audio straight here. One second. Let me check. Let me get up with y'all in the comments. What's going on? Because I know folks had some questions to ask me too. Oh, let me talk about sweet potato right quick. So, does it make a difference if I blend my fruits and vegetables? Or, see, that heart icon is in the way. Hold on a second. Does it make a difference if I blend my fruits and vegetables and drink them than chewing them? No, blending them, pretty much you're gonna get you're going to get the same effect whether you're eating it whole or blending them. Now if you put it in a juicer, then you're going to be removing the fiber, and now it's going to be a fundamentally different thing. I'm personally biased towards having my fruits in the most rawest fashion possible, especially with my greens. So I want to chew. I want to work the muscles in my jaw. You know what I'm saying? I want to work my teeth. I want to use my teeth while I still got them. I want to keep my teeth for the rest of my life. So I have a vested interest in using my teeth throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? I want to work my jaw. You know what I mean? So does it matter? I mean, it matters to minor degrees. But the reason why it's so important to chew your food is because it's good for your dental health. Right? Oh, okay, I see a W in here. There we go. Did you like the dehydrated veggies? Yeah, I'm gonna use that in a soup. With the vegetable bouillon. Yeah, I'm gonna use that in a soup. Are sweet potato fries of... Are sweet potato fries okay? Yeah, sweet potato fries are fine. As long as you're not like frying them in oils and all types of stuff like that. Then you know, you might have some problems doing that. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me open up a Google Meet right quick. Get some folks in here. But y'all gotta jump in here. You know what I'm saying? When I drop the link in here. So I'm gonna create a new meeting. Hold on a second. Alright, so I'm gonna create a new meeting. And copy the link over. Alright, y'all. So I just dropped the link to the Google Meet in the comments. Is coconut oil okay to use? I'm generally not a fan of cooking with oil, especially if you've got high blood pressure or diabetes or you have inflammatory issues, right? If your goal is to get down and to keep down inflammation, you generally don't want you don't want to mess around too much with cooking with oils. What you can get away with doing is getting like a spray, like a coconut oil spray. All right, hold on. Courtney, all right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me turn the audio on so the folks can hear you here. All right, 1 second here. So now all I need to do is I'm gonna turn up my desktop audio. And let's bring you in here. Oh, where's it at? Where you at? You just jumped in here. Did you jump out? Yeah, Courtney, jump on in here. As you jumped out and then you left. When you jump back in here, I'll bring you back in. You shy? You don't want people to hear you ask the question? All right. What about using concentrated coconut milk in the can for flavor? I mean, you can get away with doing that. I'm a big fan of, fresh, organic, non-concentrate. I would put a priority on that. But if you got it in the can, if that's what you got, use it. You know what I mean? Just as long as you're not getting anything with any added oils or sugars or anything like that. You don't need to do anything like that. Right? So yeah. So you want to get some organic, fresh coconut milk, right? That's ideal. Oh yeah. So yeah, I still got this link up here though that I put in the chat. If y'all scroll up to the Google Meet link for anybody who wants to jump on the voice chat, and have a conversation. There we go. All right, give me a second here. There you go. All right, we got Miss D in the building here. What's going on? Hold on, let me turn you up here. All right. What's going on, D? How you doing? All right, so my audio isn't picking you up here, so I gotta figure this out. What's going on? Why I can't hear you in here? Hold on. Oh, that's right. You hear me twice. Hold on. Yeah, you gotta mute the stream. Yeah, when you're talking to me. Hold on one second. What is that? Someone wants to chat. Blah blah blah. Let me see if I can add them in here. DLX lifestyle. All right, hold on one second. Because I gotta turn on the audio in here so that you can be heard. So just give me 1 second here. Oh, that should be working. So let me pull up my... Because you should be heard, but you're not being heard through the stream here. So let me see this. Can you hear yourself in the stream when you talk? No. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't hear yourself in the stream there. All right. All right, so what about now? Let me see. Say something. Yeah, say something now on the stream. Okay, I still can't hear you. All right. So, cause I can be able to monitor your audio on my end. But what I'm gonna do is this. When I switch here. Say that again. Oh, well, you said you can hear her in the stream? Or you can hear me, but you can't hear her. Hold on a second. Yep, I may have to try it another time. Well, oh well. That's a bit unfortunate. So now I'm not muted, but the problem is the fact that we can't hear you in the stream here. Well, I'm still muted. I'm not still muted now. All right. Well, we gave it a shot. I'm gonna have to figure that out on my own to get my audio issues straight. But yeah, all right. So it was a failed scuffed attempt, but I don't know. Cause so with this new mic, I guess it comes with this app that kind of changes up. It runs all of your sound through this particular app, and I guess it's a bit buggy. So I'll have to work that out on my own. No, well, my audio is still picking up that it hears me, so I'm not muted right now. Huh? Do I still sound muted? Because my audio is playing here. It's showing up in the... How do y'all not hear me in the... Hold on, wait. So y'all, it's just you who can't hear me. Because they can hear me in the stream. Yeah, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Because I don't know if that just messed up my audio altogether on the stream here. This is going to be a blooper outtake. Oh, so y'all can hear me. All right, fine. All right. All right, fair enough. Yeah, there's 2 1s in the chat right now. 2 people said put a 1 in the chat. They said they can hear me. So you should be able to. So I don't know why you can't hear me, but they can hear me. Oh, that's why, because you're a bit behind. Yeah, you're a bit behind on your end of the stream. All right. So I guess I'll be relegated to answering messages in the chat through text. I gotta figure out why my Discord, my desktop audio was working too before I got on the live stream, and now I'm on the live stream and now it's not working anymore. So that is wild to me. I don't even really understand that. So I'm gonna have to figure that. Something happened. My audio just cut off on there, so y'all can't hear. So that's probably a thing where I gotta restart my computer or whatever because it crashed or something other. So, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We do our best. But yeah, definitely, if y'all want to leave some questions in the comments about issues that y'all running into as far as recipes or meal prep, what are some of the most difficult parts for you in meal prep? That would be a thing that's more interesting to hear about. I can answer those questions. Everybody's been telling me about, you know, I need recipes. I don't know what to make. I don't know how to prep specific foods, right? So I decided to get on here and talk about, you know, recipes and meal prep ideas, right? So that's like the most important thing. So I wanted to basically say, okay, let's give an example of 4 recipes, and it's be something simple and easy to do. All you need is like a crock pot and a blender. These are the only 2 things that you need: crock pot and a blender, and then you're good from there. And then of course, hitting the plug for D. Can we freeze and what? Why is this big heart icon in the way? There's like this big heart icon on the chat. Okay. Prepping and lasting a couple days. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to keep things stored in the fridge for more than 3 days, generally speaking. Like if I prep something that's cooked or whatever, I don't particularly like to keep it in the fridge for too long. You know what I mean? Because then it gets oxidized and it starts losing nutrients. So when you're having the foods that are like really raw foods, you don't want to have things sitting in the back of your fridge for too long. You can freeze them though, right? Because freezing reduces oxidation of the foods. It makes them last longer. Way to prep celery so it doesn't immediately wilt after bringing it home from the store. Immediately wilt? It shouldn't immediately wilt. I would imagine you can, well, I don't know if you can freeze celery. I don't know if that's a good idea to do that. That's it. I don't know a whole lot about it. Depends, because I've never had celery wilt that quickly. How long, like how many days does it go before it turns wilted? Dehydrator. Yeah, if you have a dehydrator, I guess that would work. But I mean, if you want fresh celery, you may not want it dehydrated. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got it and if the celery was already soft when you got it, then, you know, I guess it's kind of, it's already too old as it is. Let's see. I prep my carrots like matchsticks and then freeze them. Oh, that's interesting. In my experience, putting it in cool or cold water should help the leaves crisp back. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I know there's like certain vegetables and whatnot, like stalks, where you can essentially put them in, you put the bottom of the stem in like water, and that keeps them, I guess, the way you would keep like a house plant. Or like, what is it? It was a thing that people would do where they would get the stalk and you would wet like a paper towel, and then you would basically wrap up the bottom of the stalk in a wet paper towel. And that was like a storage mechanism. Has anybody tried doing that? Have any of y'all tried doing that with the wet paper towel? You cut it up and then store it in mason jars? Yeah, that's the thing for me too, because I don't keep things for very long. I generally don't have produce last for very long on my end, honestly. So number one, I eat things in pretty large portions, and then so any fresh produce I buy, they usually only really last about 2-3 days. They don't last much longer than that. Yeah, but I'm curious to know how that works with the wet paper towel. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the fake meats? I used to eat mock meats on a daily basis when I first went vegan and didn't really know what to eat. Let me see. What's this saying? Let me catch up with y'all in the comments here. Yeah, the same day it was wilted. Okay, what's your thoughts on the fake meats like Beyond and Impossible? It never seemed healthy to me to make fake meats. Yeah, I mean, essentially they're just vegetable patties that they season them with smoke seasoning and things like that to make them taste like meats, right? So, I mean, that stuff is good for like newbie vegans, I guess, if you're still craving that kind of thing. I don't particularly really care too much for those kind of things. I used to, but I mean, I don't really eat that kind of stuff anymore. Just because I don't know. I think my taste buds have kind of changed a little bit, so... matter of fact, I'll tell y'all a story. I told this story on my my TikTok live stream, right? I think it was the last TikTok live stream I talked about this. And it was the first time I had an Impossible Burger. And it was this spot in New York, in Manhattan. It's like lower Manhattan. And it was like this outdoor dining spot, nice little chill spot. And they had an Impossible Burger on the menu. And I was with a group of people, and they was like, "You got to try this, right? This is an Impossible Burger." And I was like, "All right, I'll try it. It's plant-based, right?" The thing that freaked me out about it was the fact that when you look at it, it's indistinguishable from like actual meat. And that kind of bothered me a little bit, right? Because I'm like, I don't know. This looked like, are y'all sure that this is plant-based? Are you sure that this is not? Because I don't want to eat. You can't tell them apart. It's like the same texture. You know, I stuck it with a fork, and it looked like it's like red, blood-looking kind of stuff came out. It's like, oh no, the red part they used it. They make they make that using beets. And I felt like I was eating meat. I felt like I was getting pranked a little bit. I felt like, I'm like, I don't know, what if they made a mistake, right? What if there's somebody vindictive and they don't like vegans and they're like, oh, we're gonna make them eat meat and tell them it's plant-based, right? Or something like that. There's all of these neurotic thoughts that pop into my mind. And then, like, you know, begrudgingly, I kind of bit into it because I think that one burger was like $12 or something like that. It was like crazy expensive. And I bit into it and I'm tasting it and I'm like super nervous about it. It tastes good, but it tastes exactly like meat, like how I remembered it. Because I think I was already vegan for a while when I ate that, right? I don't remember how many years it was that I ate that. And I was vegan for a couple of years, I think. And I ate that and I was like, it tastes good, and it tastes like meat the way that I remembered it when I last ate meat. Like a Beyond Burger, you can tell that it's not meat because of the texture to it. You can tell that it's not meat. It's close, but you can tell it's different. With the Impossible Burger, you can't tell. And I didn't like that. I didn't feel very comfortable with that. So because of that, I prefer Beyond Burgers, but the thing is they use oils and all types of stuff in it, and I don't really mess with the oils. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to sit down on the toilet and squeeze out a nice oily log, right? I don't want that. It's kind of weird, right? I don't need my booty lubricated like that. Now, are these things like really, are they healthy or unhealthy? It depends on the frequency you eat them at. I don't think that it should be a staple of your diet. First of all, logistically, it's very expensive. But also, I'm more partial to, you know, whole foods. I want to be able to look at a food and tell what it is, right? That's me. I want to be able to look at it and be like, oh, that's a beet. Oh, that's a potato. Oh, that's a banana. I want to be able to look at my food and distinguish what it is, right? But if you give me like a burger patty and be like, oh, well, it's mixed. They made it using stem cells and BUX 9580 stems and zolcloid protein fibers, and I'm just making stuff up, right? But they can just be making stuff up and telling you wouldn't know the difference if you ask what it's made out of, and they just start RDX 95A dash S1. If you want, we can bring you the dash S2. One is a little bit thicker than the S2, and I'm like, look, it's not like these are food-like products. I would rather eat food than food-like products. Maybe I'm just a bit ideological, and that's my point of view. But I like to be able to, I want to be able to predict what my food, what's in it. I've written enough diet plans to know the nutrient profile of a given food. I can't tell you the nutrient profile of an Impossible Burger. If you ask me, oh, how much magnesium is in that? I'd have no idea. How much manganese? I have no idea. How much iron? I have no idea, right? Is it more carbs than fats? I have no idea. I can't tell you, right? I don't even know how to plug something like that into a diet plan. It's alien to me, right? So for that reason, I guess that's why I'm like that. I like to be with my foods. I don't want to be ambushed by something where it's a food-like product and I gotta trust that it's okay for me to eat. Right? I have to trust that it's not going to give me the runs, right? Or some type of massive stomach cramps or whatever the case is, right? So for me, I just feel more comfortable eating a food where I can look at it and tell what it is. I don't need my plants imitating meat. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I don't want imitation anything. To be quite honest, I want my potatoes to be potatoes. I want my melon to be melon. I want my apples to be apples. I want, you know what I mean? I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't need to get too adventurous, right, with my food. I don't need to do too much with that. What'd you say? You can get pretty creative with raw meals. I mainly find recipes from Instagram. Yeah. If it looks whole and colorful, it gets me. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't want no surprises. See, you make your own black bean burgers. Yeah, see, this is the thing though, right? Like, a black bean burger, you made it yourself, right? I'm cool with that. Like, D, if you was to be like, hey, I made some black bean burgers, I'm gonna send you some, tell me what you think, I'd eat them. You know why? Because it's a black bean burger. Keyword black beans, right? I know what it is, it's black beans. Right, and it's probably made from like what? Black beans, chopped walnuts, right? And then like seasonings or whatever. You can tell. It's made from whole foods, right? The burger is literally named out of the foods that it's made from. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. I rock with that. Yeah, you say I love the term food-like product. Yeah. I don't want food-like products. You know what I mean? I don't like, you know, stuff made from stem cells. They're like, yeah, we got these burgers and it's lab-grown meat. Essentially what we did is we took stem cells from pigs and chickens and then we grew them in a test tube and made burgers out of them. I'm cool on that. I'm a bit of a primitive person. I want to peel and eat. You know what I'm saying? I want to just be able to bite into it. I don't want to like wait until like, you know, whatever kind of stuff is done in the test tube. I don't want my food coming from a test tube. I need my food to be grown outside in soil or from a tree branch or a vine. That's where I need my food coming from, right? That's why I look at Star Trek and they like materialize food and all of this kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm cool on that. Like, oh, wouldn't you be excited to go to outer space? No, not really. Earth is a beautiful place. Earth has fruits and vegetables and oxygen and weather. It's got a day and night cycle. I don't need to go nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? I got a one planet is good enough for me. I don't need to go to any other planets. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. Look, maybe call me boring. Like, oh, you don't want to travel a galaxy? No, not really. No. Earth is enough, right? I'm a humble person. On one planet, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be risking my life in outer space. Going to planets and you gotta test for chemicals or even to make sure that there's even like, oh, is it breathable? Like, I know Earth is breathable. I'm cool with Earth. Earth has all type of biomes. There's cold places, there's warm places, there's jungles, there's deserts, there's oceans. That's enough. Let's start with that. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be doing all of that. If you want some food-like products kind of grown in a test tube, man, not really, no. No, I don't need it. Right? Then they're talking about making burgers out of worms and stuff. Like, nah, I'm cool on that. Right? Worms, they move around. They want to go and do stuff. You know what I mean? They mate and breed and lay eggs and whatever they do. Nah, it's too animal-like. You know what I'm saying? It's not a vegetable. It's not a fruit. Nah. I'm cool on that. You know? People out here doing too much. Doing too much. Do you make fermented foods? Like sauerkraut? I don't make fermented foods. Me personally, no. I haven't really gotten into all of that. That's an animal clone. There's no way that's vegan. Yeah. We don't need all. I don't need all of that. That's right. We don't need all of that. I mean, all of that stuff sounds really interesting and exciting, like on a television show or whatever. Because I mean, if you If you spending your whole life in outer space on the Starship Enterprise or whatever, fine. I guess that's, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm not going on the Starship Enterprise. I'm cool on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Just don't tear up the environment to the point where like the planet's uninhabitable and then make me get on a spaceship, because then I'm gonna be upset. Okay? That's gonna radicalize me. Okay? Because I don't want to be eating out of a machine. Eat food-like products out of a machine with stem cells and stuff. I don't want to. Oh, this has the right amount. This has the perfect balance of carbohydrates. But I don't need the perfect balance. I need whole, distinguishable foods. I'm like a simple animal. You know what I mean? The human beings that get a little too creative. Creativity is good, but too much, it's a problem, right? Is plantains good for your health? Yeah, plantains are dope. Absolutely. Plantains. Big shout out to my island folk. My island folk can tell you about some plantains. Some plátanos. Right? Yeah. Is sativa sweetener good? Sativa sweetener. I would imagine so, yeah. Stevia. That's my jam right there. The liquid stevia. Or just stevia in general. That's my jam. I like liquid stevia. I don't really use it too much anymore. I don't really use sweeteners too much anymore. If I do use a sugar, if I do use a sweetener, it'd be like coconut sugar or raw sugar cane. It'd be one of those two. I don't have this fearmonger thing about added sugar, because I don't really add much sugar to my food anyway. Probably be like a tablespoon a day or something like that. Let's see. I've been drinking coconut water all my life. Yeah, there you go. You know you got some good skin. Skin be on fleek. You know, people be asking you, like, what do you do for your skin? Tell me your secret. I'm like, you know, oh, you see that smooth sheen? Say coconut milk, coconut water, coconut yogurt, coconut oil, coconut everything. It's just straight up coconut. That's how we do. Coconut is amazing. You can live off coconut. You can drink out of a coconut. You can drink coconut. You can eat coconut, ferment coconut, make coconut yogurt, do all type of coconut stuff. Coconut is crazy. Coconut shavings. You make coconut butter. Earth is amazing, you know? Stuff will grow on trees. You know what they say, money don't grow on trees. Yes it does. Yes it does. Yeah. Liver gets maintained. True. That's right. The liver gets maintained. Hold on a second. What's my what? That didn't come through yet, I don't think. Oh, what's your favorite soup? You know what? That's a good question. What's my favorite soup? I don't know. Maybe miso soup? Maybe? Miso soup? Miso soup with coconut aminos. Probably that one. Miso soup with coconut aminos. And then adding like tofu chunks, sliced leeks, sprouts. What else? Bok choy. And nori. Yeah. Thanks for your presence. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with me here. You can wear coconuts. Actually, that's kind of true, because don't they make like vegan shoes? And like one of the things, people make like vegan shoes out of coconut, right? That's true. I think like, what is like vegan shoes are made out of like hemp. Hemp is amazing, right? Vegan shoes made out of hemp and coconut. And what are some other ingredients they make vegan shoes out of? That's what I'm talking about. We don't got to use petrol chemicals for everything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I feel. I am meeting people and networking with people who grow fruit in the yard. They got fruit trees in the yard. That's inspiring. That's motivating to me. Because I want to own land and in a little house. I don't need a huge house. I need a house that's like big enough. But what I really want is land and like grow crops. I want to like grow all type of stuff on land. That's what I want to do. I really want to do that. I want to work the earth. That's what I really want to do. I've got to meet and speak to people who do that, and I find them to be amazing. I was born and raised in the city. I don't have any interest in being in the city. What's this? I'm recovering from chronic ulcerative colitis. Any good healthy meal prep options? Oh yeah, coconut yogurt would definitely be beneficial. Adding hulled hemp seeds or milled flax. I would say do an avocado a day. That would be very beneficial, like that vitamin E, omega-3 essential fatty acids, polyunsaturated fat sources in the avocado. Yeah, that's a good one. You know, mangoes, papaya. Papaya is another big one. That one would be really good for you too. I would avoid dairy like the plague. No animal products. Keep your diet as raw as possible. All right. And keep a minimal eating window. So I think, you know, if you have a 6-hour eating window, like a 6 to 8 hour eating window, that's enough. So, you know, you start eating. So basically you start eating around what? You start eating like an hour or two after you wake up. You finish eating about 6 hours before bed. That's my general recommendation right there. As far as coconut yogurt though, the best brand that I've seen is Siggy's coconut yogurt. You can make your own coconut yogurt also, right? Just get coconut and put it through that whole fermenting process, right? That coconut milk. That coconut jelly. What you said there? My little comments box. Growing crops is insanely hard because of one thing. Bugs. Yeah. I mean, if you get a greenhouse and you have like an enclosure where the soil is in and the box is deep, it's deep enough, but you can like, you know, keep the bugs out and it kind of helps. But, you know, I mean, when I say grow crop, I mean, I want to grow fruit trees. That's my main thing. Fruit trees. But yeah, I know growing crops ain't gonna be easy particularly. But I mean, you know, there's ways around it. You know, bugs may get to some of your crops, but they're not gonna eat everything. Let's see. Owning land and growing your own food is the wealth. True. Let me tell you something, you can't eat money. You can't eat money. But you know what you can do? You can trade the stuff you can eat for money. Right? The resources is the most valuable thing. Oh yeah, by the way, ulcerative colitis, bananas would be very good for that as well, right? Bananas is a very medicinal food for that. Chai tea, ginger tea, those also help. Moringa tea, those also help your gut as well. So those are a couple more options there. Hey, yeah, I'm growing my own fruits and vegetables and it's gone. I could do that, thank you. There you go. Oh, I like to use diatomaceous earth. Yeah, for the insects. Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. Yeah. What is that? Do I avoid bread? Is that? Yeah, I don't particularly eat bread. I don't particularly eat yeast products at all, really. Nutritional yeast is different because it's not an active yeast culture. But yeah, so generally I don't eat bread. I stick to, I don't really eat much whole grains other than rolled oats and basmati rice, to be quite frank with you. But yeah, I don't really eat much bread. Not a bread guy. I like bread. Bread tastes good. I'll eat bread. I'll eat some bread. But I don't like go to the store or go to buy bread because just there's so many other better, more beneficial things to eat than bread. This is like my primary reason where like diet is like a zero-sum game, right? So when it comes to diet, it's like, well, you can either eat this thing that's really beneficial and water-rich and colorful, or you can have this bread, right? And I'm like, I'd rather eat the more water-rich, sweet kind of fruit and just like eat bread. You know what I mean? I actually, about maybe a couple of years ago, I was eating flatbread a lot. I was eating like this Greek style flatbread. And then I don't know, the more raw my diet has gotten over time, that's when I stopped eating bread. I gotta be honest with you. Huh? Yeah, probably. But yeah, when's the last time I got bread? That's been a while. When's the last time I got that Greek style flatbread? Was it like early this summer or when? Was it early this summer? Yeah. Now it's just, yeah, the more my diet is becoming more and more raw over time. To the point where that really like the only cooked foods that I eat now are like legumes and basmati rice. Right, that's about it. Do you avoid seedless fruit? Let's talk about seedless fruit a little bit right quick. What is that? Rice beats bread? Any day of the week? True. Yeah, I'm a rice over bread guy. I'll eat some rice. I will actually tear down on some rice. Absolutely. I'm a rice fan. I like eating rice. I don't care what nobody says. Oh, rice will make you fat. I'm like, it has yet to work on me. But then again, I don't know. I probably don't eat enough rice for that. But seedless fruit. So number one is, first of all, there's no such thing as seedless fruit. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Even like your traditional kind of conventional yellow bananas have seeds. You know those little brown specks in the middle? Those are seeds. Like even if you get like a watermelon that's seedless, you know those little white seeds? Yeah, those are seeds. They're just immature seeds. They're still seeds. There's no such thing as a seedless fruit. Even like red seedless grapes, they have seeds. They call them seedless, they're not really seeds, right? They may have like immature seeds in them, and they may have a couple mature seeds in them, but they're not seedless. There isn't a such thing as a seedless fruit. There's not a whole lot of benefit to eating fruit seeds. Not really. It's not really much benefit. You can if you want, right? If you want to eat, if you want to eat watermelon seeds, you can. There's not really going to be a whole lot of benefit to doing so because your gut can't really metabolize seeds, like fruit seeds, right? If you really, for some reason, you want to eat fruit seeds, you can collect them and then you can dry roast them and then crack them and then eat them that way if you want. But the thing is, when you're eating fruit, you're not eating fruit for the seeds, you're eating fruit for the flesh of the fruit, right? So you're eating the fruit essentially for everything else but the actual seeds, right? Generally speaking, animals that eat fruit, the seeds they do eat, they just poop them out, and that helps the fruit to spread to other, you know, areas of the world and proliferate. That's essentially the purpose of eating the seeds. But the thing is that when we eat fruit and then we eat the seeds, we're not going to the park and taking a dump in the grass or in the dirt, right? And they're growing. That'd be kind of interesting. I wonder, like, if we got like 500 people, and every day the 500 people, we ate fruit, different types of fruit, and then whenever we needed to go do number two, we would go to like this one specific park, and this one specific spot in the park, and we'd take a dump, right? I'm not trying to be gross. This is scientific. I wonder what fruit trees would grow in that spot that those 500 people were pooping in. Kind of curious. But anyways, that's essentially how it works, right? So that's how the fruit seeds spread. But it's not really for nutritional purposes. Fruit seeds are meant to grow new fruit. It's not really meant to be like a nutritious part of your diet. Right. What we got here? I went to your archive and was watching your old workout videos, and goddamn. Oh, gold mine. Look at that. My glasses are failing me. A gold mine. I appreciate that. All right. Please explain the seeded versus... Okay. Let's see. Hard watermelon seeds are protein rich. It doesn't really matter if they're protein rich or not. You're not really getting much protein out of them because your gut can't really pull the nutrients from watermelon seeds. I think if you wanted to get protein in your diet, I think there's much better sources to get that protein from than watermelon seeds. I never see watermelon seeds in my poop. Not like corn. I think you can actually digest watermelon seeds. I mean, hey, if you can digest watermelon seeds, then eat watermelon seeds. Hey, I mean, if it works for you, then go for it. Yeah, definitely do it, right? Who am I to discourage people from eating seeds? Let's see. Oh, the chemicals that are present in seeds for measuring harmful to the body. When it comes to like something this, huh? What? Oh, are the chemicals that are preventing seeds? Yeah, there's no chemicals that prevent seeds from growing. That's not really particularly how that works. So there's different types of the ways that, fruits can either be grown in like a conventional sense from like on a vine or whatever the case is, or they could be a fruit that is grown by merging it with another type of fruit. I forgot what it's called. It's some name. I keep forgetting the name of it. But there's a particular growing method where it's like this hybridized form where two fruits are kind of grown together in this hybridized fashion. And so what happens is you use one fruit to then grow another fruit. And that's essentially how that works. And I forgot what the name of it is called. So like those small personal sized watermelons, they're grown like that. Right, so they're not grown in the same way that like those giant, 25-pound watermelons are grown. Right, they're grown in a bit of a different fashion. But I haven't seen, and no one has shown me any evidence that shows the negative outcomes of eating fruits without mature seeds. So I'm not really going to freak out about something that I don't have evidence for. I'm not going to disparage something that I don't have evidence for. Right, so everything that I say is evidence-based. So I'm not going to speculate and make up stuff and say, oh, this is harmful and you should avoid that if I don't have evidence to explain why. Right, I need receipts for it. So that's just me being responsible with the things that I say. I try to say whatever I say, I want to make sure that I have evidence to support what I'm saying. Let's see. I don't understand the obsession with seeded versus not seeded because practically everything we eat now is hybrid that has been modified over time. I mean, even us, right, as Homo sapiens, are hybrids of earlier humanoid species that came before us, right? I mean, this is just... you know, the organic life forms, they just mutate over time, right? And then you get new versions. You know what I mean? Like ostriches used to be dinosaurs. Right? They used to be dinosaurs. Let's see. How often should we include nuts, other fats like avocados in our diet? I would say on a daily basis, actually, especially if you know, raw vegan. Polyunsaturated fat sources are absolutely amazing. They also help to reverse insulin resistance. They help to lower blood pressure. I mean, they help with skin quality. They help with nervous system muscle recovery. These are rich sources of zinc, iron, copper, magnesium, manganese, vitamin E, vitamin K, right? Potassium, selenium, chromium, very important trace minerals and whatnot in nuts and seeds. You know what I mean? So, you know, having them on a daily basis is definitely that's important. That's a good idea to do. You know, some people say, oh, you know, I'm on a straight up fruitarian diet. I don't eat anything unless it's a fruit. You can still be you can still be on a fruitarian diet, and at least 20% of your diet or so is not from fruits, right? Every single thing you eat does not need to be a fruit. You don't need to be dogmatic, right? If a food is beneficial to your health and your goals, do it, right? We don't need to be too dogmatic. We want to be evidence driven, right? This is not like a religion. This is not some kind of food cult, right? That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not espousing some type of cultish food ideology. It's not what I'm doing. It's just science-based, based on wellness. And if it is a food that is ethically sourced, that can benefit your quality of life, then you do it. When I say ethically sourced, I mean that it's not, you know, it's not ripped from the back or the ass of an animal. Right? That's essentially what I mean. In a capitalist society, nothing is ethically sourced, technically. If we really want to be pedantic about what that means. Let's see. How often should we include nuts and seeds? Okay, I answered that. I gotta hit you up for a diet plan. Thanks for the information. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Is there any optimal time to eat fats? Yeah, typically, you should eat the bulk of your fats towards the end of the day. I'm a very big fan of, like, let's say your last meal could be avocado, cashews, hemp seeds, diced onion, bell pepper, cucumber, leafy greens. That's a great, like, final meal to have, you know, at night. And the reason why is because, you know, fatty foods typically are going to be much lower on the glycemic index than anything else. And the closer you get to bedtime, the deeper you want, the closer you want to be towards your glucose fat, your fasted blood sugar level. Right? So you don't want to, like, spike your blood sugar and then go to bed. You see what I'm saying? So having that blood sugar at that fasted level right into bed, that's going to be very advantageous with your sleep quality and your overall recovery and weight loss. Yeah, boost testosterone and build muscle. That's going to be towards the end of the day, right? And the thing is that those foods are going to be higher in, like, the vitamin E and the zinc and the magnesium and things like that, which are very good for sleep quality. Combining zinc, magnesium, and vitamin E before bed at night is actually very beneficial for sleep quality. Right? There's even a sleep supplement that people get. It's called ZMA. It's zinc magnesium aspartate. And it's basically a combination of a chelated form of zinc and magnesium. Right? And it's like a sleep supplement. You can get that from food naturally. Right? Also, your fatty foods like, you know, cashews or peanuts or avocado, these things are rich in tryptophan, which is a precursor for serotonin, which leads to melatonin conversion in the brain, so you can get into a nice deep sleep. So yeah, those are definitely some good sleep foods. What's your thoughts on eating fish once per week? I am not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of eating fish. There's a whole host of reasons why I'm not a fan of eating fish. The fish are meant to maintain homeostasis of our ocean. So the fishing industry is deeply problematic because of overfishing and acidifying our oceans as a result and destroying the ecosystem of the ocean, which makes fishing just not viable, right? So I choose to not participate in that for ethical reasons. I'm against killing animals, number one. Number two, I'm against destroying the environment of the ocean. That's number two. Also, whatever that fish is eating, you're eating too. So all the plastic and the heavy metals and stuff that's in the chemicals that's thrown into the ocean, the fish are going to be absorbing that. And then when you eat the fish, then you'll be absorbing that, right? So along with your fish, you'll also be getting a decent dose of microplastics, aluminum, mercury, petroleum chemicals of all kinds, xenoestrogens, possible parasites. So I would rather avoid all of that entirely by just not dealing with fish. You could be eating fish that's not giving you parasites. You could be eating fish that maybe doesn't really have much microplastics. But the thing is that you can't guarantee that for sure. That's the problem. So I've watched enough videos where they put fish under a microscope and they see all these little microplastic threads of all types of colors and whatnot inside the tissue of fish. I'm good. I don't want to eat plastic, right? I'm good. I'm all right. They've seen fish with cancer tumors and all that. I'm good. I'm good on that, right? Worms. I'm good on that, right? I'm all right. So, I'm a land mammal. I eat the fruits and vegetables that comes from the land. Everything else, leave it to the sea. I'm good on that. I'ma eat what's for me, right? It's kind of like, every species of living being on this planet, they have their set foods that they're supposed to eat. So everyone's not competing for the same food sources, right? I live by those rules. I eat what's for me, and everything else is for them. So the bears, they can eat all the salmon and all of that they want. That's for them. It's not really for me. I got my fruits. I got my leafy greens. I got my basmati rice and the sweet potatoes, whatnot. I'm good. So I'm living by the rules. For some people, eating only fruit is religious based. They say in Genesis, the God only intended people to eat fruit, and then later permitted vegetable eating, and last meat after the food. Oh, after the flood, excuse me. So those people only eat fruit to experience God's original plan for humanity. That sounds deep. Let's see. In fact, it was reading the Bible that got me interested in raw veganism. That's interesting. Look at that. You over here teaching me, huh? Never swim in the ocean anymore. At least not the Pacific Ocean. What does that say? I know I'm going to read that wrong. Tritium all over the place? Oh. How do you suggest dealing with cravings when first making the transition from the SAD to a raw diet? I would say go from the SAD diet to a high raw vegan diet. So you eat raw throughout the day, and then you have that one cooked meal towards the end of the day. It gives you a little something to look forward to. As far as food cravings are concerned, there's 3 food cravings: sweet, salty, crunchy. Those are the 3 food cravings. Your nuts and seeds, especially when roasted and salted, that'll take care of your your salty and crunchy, and then your fruits, they'll take care of your sweet and also your sweet and crunchy. So it may be a little bit easier for you to handle than you think, right? As far as the religious aspect on only eating fruit, that's very interesting. Like, but that's like for spiritual reasons, I would say. I don't know if I would really categorize that as religious reasons, right? But for spiritual reasons. You learn religion from text, but what you experience is more of a spiritual experience, right? What you feel is a different thing. I'm not particularly a religious person. It makes sense to me logistically that you know, human beings really is just supposed to be eaten, you know, primarily from the earth, primarily from the trees, right? And there's a variety of reasons why I think that. But that is, you know, that is plausible. Like, yeah, human beings were originally intended to eat fruit, and you can live your whole entire life where you're just eating fruit and you don't really eat anything else, or eating from the fruits, right? And that is a viable option, right? I try not to be too narrow in my prescriptions for people, right? Because I want to be agile in the way that and I guess for a lack of a better term, educate people on nutrition and, you know, reversing chronic illnesses. So I want to be agile in my approach, where if your recommendations are a bit too tight, you may run into issues where just logistically people aren't able to eat a very specific way. So I want to be able to broaden out a little bit, right? So some people, they may need to eat fruits, but not all of their diet is fruit. They may need to do a little bit more leafy greens. They may do a little bit more legumes, maybe more whole grains. They may need to branch out or broaden out a little bit. I think that the basis of the human diet, generally speaking, should be fruits. Like, fruit is like the staple of your diet, right? Where you're eating at least 3 pounds of fruit a day. At least 3 pounds of fruit, generally speaking. From what I know about fruits and the health outcomes, you know, your fruits are anti-obesogenic, they're anti-inflammatory, they're a longevity food. I mean, just, you know, fruits are just undeniable, right? So that's going to be like a core staple of the diet, right? And then everything else is kind of built around that, around the fruits. So that's generally going to be my approach with that. Most people don't realize the most fruits are being classified wrong as vegetables. Oh, you mean like tomatoes? Or like tomatoes, or like pumpkins or butternut squash, right? Because those are classified as vegetables and they're actually fruits. In the Bible, people existed in a place without death, and fruits allowed you to eat without anything dying. Actually, that's true. Fruits are actually the most the most ethical fruit, the most ethical food, quite honestly. You know, so like if you're you know, running some giant harvesting machine through a field, you're gonna be killing some wildlife in the process, right? Incidentally. With fruit, on the other hand, it's a little different. So yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that. Fruit is the most ethical food. So that, yeah, definitely true. I 100% agree with you on that. The most ethical diet is a fruitarian diet, for sure. You get omega-3 from other things than fish. Yeah, omega-3 is made in the chloroplasts of plants. Right? So yeah, omega-3, the original source of omega-3 essential fatty acids is plants. Bell peppers, that's another one. Yeah, peppers is a fruit. That's right, the bell peppers. That is absolutely true. Yeah. Hold on one second. Well, hold on, let me find that comment. After being vegan for 3 years, I started experiencing memory loss. But when I introduced fish into my diet, my memory drastically improved. I'm assuming it's the omega-3 in the fish. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. Having memory loss. I'm curious of what your diet was like. So I'm currently 10 years in to being whole food plant-based, right? I'm 10 years in. Interestingly enough, I have an easier time remembering things now. So me and you apparently have had opposite effects. I'm very curious in what you were eating. That's very interesting. When people do sometimes experience negative effects from how they were eating on a plant-based diet. And I want to talk to those people and kind of work on those issues. I'm very curious of what that is. You know what I mean? I don't when people say like, "Oh, I tried a plant-based diet and I developed issues from it." I'm very curious as to like coming up with solutions for that. So yeah, definitely. If you have issues like that, I'd be interested to know more. You know what I mean? Just so I could be more well versed on how to help people with them issues in the future. What about vitamin B12? Yeah, vitamin B12 is pretty easy to get. You can get it from nutritional yeast. You can get it from plant-based milk. You can get it from supplement, right? From a supplement, you get B12 from organic fruits and vegetables. People say they do this real slick thing. They say, well, B12 isn't found inside fruits and vegetables. Well, B12 is not made by fruits and vegetables. That's true. B12 is actually made by bacteria, like freshwater bacteria. That freshwater bacteria, though, can be found on and in your fruits and vegetables. And so that bacteria makes its way into the fibers of your fruits and vegetables, particularly your fruits, especially the organic fruits. So organic fruits would have much more B12 found in them, right? So that would be a reason to get organic produce. And that's where you'll find B12 inside your fruits. And this is the reason why you can have raw vegans who do not supplement with B12 and don't have low B12 because they get them organic produce. The nutritional yeast messed me up. What do you say? Broke my whole face out. Oh, yeah, I mean, if you got a food sensitivity that caused you to break out, then yeah, I would say to avoid it. If you got a food allergy, then yeah, for sure. Right? Man, I would be hurt if my face was breaking out from nutritional yeast, because I like nutritional yeast. If I had to give it up, I'd be kind of upset. But like I couldn't imagine like having a nut allergy. Like imagine if I developed a nut allergy, I'd be crushing nuts. I've been eating nuts my whole entire life. If I found out I had a nut allergy, oof. So I feel for you. I feel for anybody who's food allergies, for real. What is this here? I've been a vegan for 13 years, vegetarian for 35 with no memory issues. Look at that, you are an elder. A question I've always wanted to ask you is that, do you think this lifestyle is best for us in America because of our poor health system, or worldwide should more countries support plant-based lifestyle? Generally speaking, I think that it is ideal for the human species at large. Now, our health system is deeply predatory. Our health outcomes in the US are not good. And a plant-based diet is very protective, you know, from things like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, pretty much all cause mortality, right? So basically, yeah, worldwide. Now, some countries could be war-torn, impoverished, very unstable, or whatever the case is. So they may not have a whole lot of access to, you know, the type of foods that I would suggest eating. Like, you know, if you're living in an area that's going through real turbulent times, you may not just be able to go to the store and get coconut yogurt, right? Or pick up some watermelon and cantaloupe. You may not have the luxury of doing that. And that serves an entirely different conversation, right? At that point, you just got to get what you can get, right? Those are desperate times, right? So I wouldn't, so like if it was a person who, like, let's say they lived in a climate where there were no fruits and vegetables, right? Nothing grew out of the soil. It was just super high snow, no real vegetation to eat and all that type of stuff. And you had to hunt animals and stuff or whatever and fish in order to eat. I'm not going to lecture that person about their diet, right? So, you know, logistically, like I'm not dogmatic in my thinking, right? So in some places, you just got to get it how you can get it, right? Generally speaking, I think human beings should be living closer to the equator where, you know, you can get an access to an abundance of fruits and herbs and things like that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to your survival, when it's survival time, you gotta get it and how you can get it. That's the truth behind that. Yeah, we was meant to live closest to the equator, yeah. But generally speaking, you know, a plant-based diet is a species-appropriate diet. Let's see. What do you think other health gurus like Dr. Sebi would make their diet so hard to? Why do you think they would make their diet so hard to follow? For instance, only seeded fruits, no mushrooms from specific parts of the world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't particularly know. I would like to sit down and have a conversation with Dr. Sebi to know more of his line of reasoning. I don't agree with everything Dr. Sebi says. I don't think he's wrong. I think he's right about a lot of the things that he said, honestly. Yeah, I know he's dead, but I'm saying if he was alive, I'd like to sit and have a conversation with him. Obviously, we can't do that now, but a lot of the things that, and a lot of what he said led me to research certain things about like alkalizing foods and all of this type of stuff and how that works. And the idea is a sound idea. It makes sense. Now, do I agree with him that there's no iron in spinach? No. I don't particularly know why he said that, but that's just one of those things. And I mean, people are going to listen to me and not agree with everything I say, and that's fine, right? I wouldn't even dare to say that everything I say is 100% correct. I couldn't say that. I believe that everything I say is pretty close to being 100% correct, but I don't know everything. I try to be as accurate as possible, right? I've even fact-checked myself live on streams if I said something that was incorrect, right? You know, we do our best, you know, as long as we make a good faith, honest effort, right? But I generally want to make things easier on people, so I'm not giving these strict food lists, right? And being really rigid with people. I try not to do that. I want to meet people where they are while maximizing the return on their health improvements. What about enhanced liver health issues along with gallbladder, chronic cystic issues, and huge underweight issues? Well, that's a lot. Gallbladder, chronic cystic issues, huge underweight issues, how to reverse these issues. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, these are all related to your gut microbiome, right? So like there's a lot of foods that'd be very beneficial to your gut health, right? Mangoes, papaya, pineapple, watermelon, coconut yogurt, um, coconut water, kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles, kombucha, right? Things of this nature. When it comes to gaining weight or being chronically underweight, right, it's either going to come from two things. Either your gut is not pulling nutrients effectively from the foods you're eating, um, or you're under eating. It's from like those things. So you have some people where they don't gain weight even if they eat a ton of food. They just end up getting upset stomach and all this kind of stuff. So you have to improve your gut health. So it would help to not have like huge meals at one time where you don't want to overload your digestive tract with too much. So you can't do like these really high calorie meals. It actually may harm you and have an adverse effect on your gut health if you're just packing your gut with tons of food trying to gain weight. Right? So having probiotic rich foods, prebiotic rich foods like the ones that I just mentioned, right? That's a good idea. Moringa tea, ginger tea, these kinds of things. Reducing the inflammation as much as possible, right? Having your diet as raw as possible. Because in order to gain the weight, like the first thing you have to do is you have to improve your digestive health. Now, when it comes to gallbladder issues, if you have gallbladder issues, you got to be careful with how much fats you eat. So, generally speaking, this is where your dietary fats should be easy to metabolize types of fats, right? Like coconut yogurt or avocado. You probably can't eat a whole lot of nuts or something like that. You can have some seeds, like a little bit of chia seeds, maybe a tablespoon or two, depending on how bad it is. But like malic acid in foods becomes very beneficial. So eating apples, cherries, grapes, foods like this, watermelon, right, and getting that malic acid, bananas, that's going to be really good for helping this stimulation of more bile production, right? And so you get more bile production in the liver, and that of course that contributes to the gallbladder, and then from the gallbladder to the stomach, and then that's when you'll be able to metabolize more fats and things like that. But if you have gallbladder issues, that could prevent you from gaining weight because you don't have enough of the stomach acid to properly break down foods, especially fatty foods, to be able to pull nutrients from them. So that can cause you to have major stomach problems, right? Major intestinal problems as well, right? So this is where like really minimizing the fats to just those fats that I mentioned, the coconut yogurt, the avocado, things like that, and not having them in huge portions, right? So like you have one Hass avocado, or maybe even just a half if one is too much, or like 8 ounces of coconut yogurt or something of this nature. But having those malic acid rich foods, that's going to be a big deal, right? Apple pectin, things of this nature to produce the short chain fatty acids from that. There's a lot there, right? And I think what I'm going to do is next week, I'm actually going to do a gut health stream to go more in depth about like if you've got food allergies, if you've got ulcers or like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, right? These kinds of things. IBS, diverticulitis, right? These kinds of things. Because this is a very in-depth topic, right? Moringa tea is very important, right? Medicinal herbal teas are very important. And it's good too that if you're going to get probiotic rich foods in your diet, you will also want to have foods or herbs that act as a hedge against bad bacterial overgrowth and fungus in your stomach or your upper gut. So that's where things like cinnamon and ginger and turmeric become really important as far as like herbal teas or you know, spiced teas and things like that are important, right? So you can regulate your gut in that kind of way. So you can nourish and feed your good gut bacteria and minimize the bad gut bacteria, as well as, you know, fungal overgrowth, you know, candida, things like this, right? So, you know, a full spectrum approach is really important. I've had issues with, I've had people with gut health issues. I've had people come to me, you know, repeated gallstones, all types of gallbladder issues. I've had people with no gallbladder, right? And we've been able to fix their gut health, right? Correct their gut microbiome. We solved their issue with kidney stones. No more gallbladder pain, no more gallstones, no more kidney stones. Was able to effectively lose weight. I had one person lose. Well, I've had more than one person, but for an example, I had somebody come to me. They were about to get their gallbladder removed because they were having constant issues with their gallbladder. And they booked a call with me like a week before they were going to have their gallbladder removed. And we put them on a plan, and within the first week, they started feeling improvements, and they canceled the surgery. And till this day, I still check back in with people. Until this day, no gallbladder pain, and was able to lose the weight and keep it off. I'm talking like 25 pounds of weight loss within like 2.5 months. Right. So yeah, tremendous results. I've had people with no gallbladder, food allergies, was still able to drop weight, no longer have the food allergies. Right? So I've had several people with food allergies. I'm talking big time, like histamine issues, all types of stuff. And they would have breakouts, like their face would break out, like hives and all types of craziness. No more breakouts, no more food allergies, no more gut health issues. Right? So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So, food is medicine, and food does two things. It fuels your body, and it acts as medicine to reduce oxidative stress and prevent and reverse chronic illnesses. Right? So, energy and medicine. Oh yeah, look at that. It's 10:10. All right, y'all. I gotta wrap. How do you feel about wild rice? Wild rice is a great food. Let's see. Food is fine, but processed sugar like candy, yeah, nah, not all of that. I had to give up. You know what? I'm one of those weirdos who, as a kid, every year would eat candy corn. Huh? Yes, I did. I eat candy corn every year. I didn't eat a lot of candy. I ate a lot of candy corn. I remember eating a lot of candy corn, like a whole bag of candy corn. I would tear candy corn up. I wouldn't eat a whole lot of candy in general, but I like candy corn. I was one of those freakish little kids because every October, I gotta see all of these videos of people bashing candy corn. It's gross. It's disgusting. All the candy corn that exists today and is sold in stores today was made back in the 70s and all this type of stuff. It's nasty. And I'm like, why are people ragging on my candy corn? Is it really that bad? Matter of fact, I don't know. Is candy corn really that bad to y'all? Who here likes candy corn? It can't possibly be that bad. You like candy corn too, right? I'm not crazy. Like, candy corn can't possibly be that bad, is it? Is it really that unpopular? But anyways, I don't remember the last time I had candy corn. I become this health nut, and now I don't eat candy and all this stuff anymore. October I would eat candy corn, and then December around Christmas time I would eat candy canes. I would eat candy canes. I would eat them off the tree. Can you reverse diabetes? Yes, absolutely. Type 2 diabetes. I've never reversed type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, yes. Type 1, not yet. Are Yukon Gold potatoes GMO? You can probably get them GMO. They're not all GMO, though. You said candy corn was disgusting? All right, fair enough. I like disgusting candy corn as a kid. All right, I gotta go, folks. It is after 10 o'clock at night. I appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out with me. It's been a real one tonight. Good stream tonight. I'm gonna figure out those audio issues so I can bring people on the thing, on the Google Meet thing. I don't know why my desktop audio stopped working. I'm kind of upset about that because it was just working right before I went live on the stream. So I'm salty about that. I am salty about that. So I'm gonna figure that out. Here's my plug for tonight before y'all leave. Okay, first of all, hit the like button before y'all leave. Right, hit that like button. Okay, we putting in work on this YouTube channel. We putting work in. If you need help with a diet plan, you need help with a training plan, I do personalized coaching. All right, so there's a link to book a call with me in the description of this video. If you want to book a call with me, you hit that link, you pick your day and time. We got an hour-long call where we answer all your questions. So if you've got questions and some of them you asked tonight and I missed them, definitely go and book a call. Let's do it. All right. And there's also a link to sign up to my free newsletter for those of you who are not on it. And you can also sign up for personalized coaching and see my links in the description as well. It's going to be in my link tree. So there's two links. One is to book the consultation call and one is in my link tree for all my other stuff. And then on my newsletter, you'll see, I'll notify people, let you know when I'm going live and things like that. All right. So I'm not going to be hitting y'all like crazy on the newsletter, flooding your email with all types of stuff. So you don't got to worry about that, but it'll keep you up to date from where I'm going live and all that type of stuff. So having said that, folks, it's time for me to pack it in. It's getting to be past my bedtime. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Much love to y'all.